Navy Federal Credit Union, or Navy Federal, is a global credit union headquartered in Vienna, Virginia, chartered and regulated under the authority of the National Credit Union Administration. Navy Federal is the largest natural member, or retail, credit union in the United States, both in asset size and in membership. As of January 2023, Navy Federal has $156.8 billion in assets and has 12.4 million members. Navy Federal was originally incorporated on the 17th of January 1933 as the Navy Department Employees Credit Union of the District of Columbia. Only Navy Department employees who were members of the Federal Employees Labor Union and members of their families were eligible to join. The next year, President Roosevelt signed into law the Federal Credit Union Act, which would eventually become the basis of business for the credit union. On July 17, 1947, the credit union was granted a federal charter as a credit union, named Navy Department Employees Federal Credit Union. It also expanded membership to include all Navy personnel in the Washington, D.C. area, both military and civilian. In 1954, the credit union changed its charter again to open membership to Navy and Marine Corps officers everywhere, regardless of geographic location, and changed its name to Navy Federal Credit Union. Eventually, membership was open to enlisted personnel as well. By April 1962, the credit union reached a milestone, becoming the biggest credit union in the world, a distinction which it still holds today. In 1977, the credit union moved into its current headquarters in Vienna, Virginia, eventually undergoing several major expansions of its facility there. In 2003, the credit union opened its membership further to include Navy contractors. There have also been several times in the credit union's history that NCUA has asked Navy Federal to merge with or absorb other credit unions that were experiencing financial or other difficulties. Members of these prior credit unions remained members of Navy Federal after the merger, following NCUA's policy of once a member, always a member. In September 2010, Navy Federal Credit Union announced plans to merge with USA Fed, stating that joint operations would begin the 4th of October 2010 under the Navy Federal banner. In May 2008, Navy Federal Credit Union widened its membership to include the entire Department of Defense, which made eligible all active duty, retired, and reserve Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force personnel, as well as contractor and civilian personnel within the Department of Defense. In March 2013, Navy Federal Credit Union further widened its membership to include all Coast Guard members and employees as well. In 2020, Navy Federal Credit Union also expanded its membership to include Space Force members. In 2014, Navy Federal expanded its Vienna headquarters. As of January, 4,300 employees work at the Vienna location. An increase in membership also led to two expansions, one at the credit union's Pensacola location in 2015, where Navy Federal has 8,400 employees, and one at the Winchester Operations location in 2019 where Navy Federal has 2,200 employees. As of 2023, Navy Federal is by far the largest credit union in the United States, with total assets nearly 3 times that of the second largest U.S. credit union.